I'm Jamie. Today is day 213 of reading. Today I'm reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Let's get started. We're on page 54. We're going through these fast. Tell me what series you want me to read next. It's nothing, Molly, mumbled Mr. Weasley. Fred and George but I've had words with them. What have they done this time? Said Mrs. Weasley. If it's got anything to do with Weasley's wizard why don't you show Harry where he's sleeping? Ron, said Hermione from the doorway. He knows where he's sleeping, said Ron. In my room. He slept there We can all go, said Hermione pointedly. Oh, said Ron, cutting on. Right. Yeah, we'll come too, said George. You stay where you are, snarled Mrs. Weasley. Harry and Ron edged out of the kitchen, and they, Hermione, and Ginny set off along the narrow hallway and up the rickety staircase that zigzagged through the houses to the upper stories. What are the wizards' wheezes? Harry asked as he climbed. Ron and Ginny both laughed, although Hermione didn't. Mom found this stack of order forms when she was cleaning Fred and George's room, said Ron quietly. Great long price list for stuff they've invented. Junk stuff, you know. Fake wands and trick suites, loads of stuff. It was brilliant. I never knew they'd been inventing all that. We've been hearing explosions out of their room for ages, but we never thought they were actually making things, said Ginny. We thought they just liked the noises. Only most of the stuff, well, all of it really, was a bit dangerous. And they were planning to sell it at Hogwarts to make some money. Mom went mad at them, told them they aren't allowed to make any more of it, and burned all the order forms. She's furious at them. They didn't get as many OWLs as she expected. OWLs were ordinary wizarding levels. The examinations Hogwarts students took at the age of 15. And then there was this big row, Ginny said, because Mom wants them to go into the Ministry of Magic like Dad. And they told her all they want to do is open a joke shop. Just then, a door on the second landing opened, and a face poked out wearing horn-rimmed glasses and a very annoyed expression. Hi, Percy, said Harry. Oh, hello, Harry, said Percy. I was wondering who was making all the noise. I'm trying to work in here, you know. I've got a report to finish for the office, and it's rather difficult to concentrate when people keep thundering up and down the stairs. I'm not thundering, said Ron irritably. We're walking. Sorry if we just started the top secret workings of the Ministry of Magic. What are you working on? Said Harry. A report for the Department of International Magical Cooperation, said Percy smugly. We're trying to standardize cauldron thickness. Some of these foreign imports are just a shade too thin. Leakages have been increasing at a rate of almost 3% a year. That'll change the world, that report will, said Ron. Front page of the Daily Prophet, I expect. Cauldron leaks. Percy went slightly pink. You might sneer, Ron, he said heatedly, but unless some sort of international law is imposed, we might well find that the market is flooded with flimsy, shallow-bottom products that seriously endanger— Yeah, all right, said Ron, and he started off upstairs again. Percy slammed his bedroom door shut as Harry, Hermione, and Ginny followed Ron up 3 more flights of stairs. Shouts from the kitchen below echoed up to them. It sounded as though Mr. Weasley had told Mrs. Weasley about the toffees. The room at the top of the house where Ron slept looked much as it had the last time that Harry had come to stay. The same posters of Ron's favorite Quidditch team, the Chudley Cannons, were rolling and waving on the walls and sloping ceiling, and the fish tank on the windowsill, which had previously held frog spawn, now contained one extremely large frog. Ron's old rat, Scabbers, was here no more, but instead there was a tiny gray owl that had delivered Ron's letter to Harry in Privet Drive. It was hopping up and down in a small cage and twittering madly. "Shut up, pig," said Ron, edging his way back between the two of the four beds that had been squeezed into the room. "Fred and George are in here with us because Bill and Charlie are in their room," he told Harry. "Percy gets to keep his room all to himself because he's got to work." Why are you calling that owl pig?" Harry said Ron. "Because he's being stupid." "Stupid," said Ginny. "Its proper name is Pigwidgeon." "Yeah, and that's not a stupid name at all," said Ron sarcastically. "Ginny named him," he explained to Harry. "She reckoned it sweet, and I tried to change it, but it was too late. He won't answer to anything else. So now he's Pig. I've got to keep him up here because he annoys Errol and Hermes. He annoys me too. Come to that." Pigwidgeon zoomed happily around his cage, hooting shrilly. Harry knew Ron too well to take him seriously. He had moaned continually about his old rat Scabbers, but had been most upset when Hermione's cat, Crookshanks, appeared to have eaten him. "Where's Crookshanks?" Harry asked Hermione now. "Out in the garden, I expect," she said. "He likes chasing gnomes. He's never seen any of them before." "Percy's enjoying work, then?" said Harry, sitting down on one of the beds and watching the Chudley cannon zooming in and out of the posters on the ceiling. "Enjoying it?" said Ron darkly. "I don't reckon he'd come home if Dad didn't make him. He's obsessed. Just don't get him onto the subject of his boss." According to Mr. Crouch, as I was saying to Mr. Crouch is of the opinion, Mr. Crouch was telling me they'll be announcing their engagement any day now. "Have you had a good summer, Harry?" said Hermione. "Did you get our food parcels and everything?" "Yeah, thanks a lot," said Harry. "They saved my life, those cakes." "And have you heard from—" Ron began, but a look at Hermione had fell silent. Harry knew Ron had been about to ask about Cyrus. Ron and Hermione had been so deeply involved in helping Cyrus escape from the Ministry of Magic that they were almost as concerned about Harry's godfather as he was. However, discussing him in front of Ginny was a bad idea. Nobody but themselves and Professor Dumbledore knew about how Cyrus had escaped, or believed in his innocence. I think they stopped arguing," said Hermione, to cover the awkward moment, because Ginny was looking curious from Ron to Harry. "Shall we go down and help your mum with dinner?" "Yeah, all right," said Ron. The four of them left Ron's room and went back downstairs to find Mrs. Weasley alone in the kitchen, looking extremely bad-tempered. "We're eating out in the garden," she said when they came in. "There's just not room for 11 people in here. Could you take the plates outside, girls? Bill and Charlie are setting up the tables." "Knives and forks, please, you two," she said to Ron and Harry, pointing her wand a little more vigorously than she had intended at a pile of potatoes in the sink, which shot out of their skins so fast that they ricochetted off walls and ceiling. "Oh, for heaven's sake," she snapped, now directing her wand at a dustpan, which hopped off the sideboard and started skating across the floor, scooping up the potatoes. "Those two," she burst out savagely, now pulling pots and pans out of the cupboard. And Harry knew she meant Fred and George. "I don't know what's going to happen to them. I really don't. No ambition, unless you count making as much trouble as they possibly can." Mrs. Weasley slammed a large copper saucepan down on the kitchen table and began to wave her hand around inside it. A creamy sauce poured from the wand tube as she stirred. It's not as though they haven't got brains, she continued irritably.